top heroes. You need a carry that's going to be buffed by your supports or your offlaners in order to be able to farm as much as Gyro is, right? Because he will be followed by Wisp, he will have stacks, he will out-farm you. You need to somehow compensate for that. Magnus eliminated, banned out in the first stage. What else is there? Beastmaster as well, banned out. You can't go for Vengeful, or maybe on the offlane, but it won't really help you that much.
So this is what we discussed during the first game, having two heroes, two supports with no real stun, no ways of initiating a fight. So you have Wisp and Grimstroke. I'm not a big fan of these two together paired up. You need to have a low cooldown stun that can initiate. Like you need a blink initiation or someone that can set things up. Like I would definitely love to see something like a Bane instead of a Grimstroke, where you can set things up with Bane sleep into relocate play. You have a BKB piercing ability. You also have another save with the Nightmare. We consider that a save, even though it's not the greatest one, but that like half a second sometimes changes the whole thing.
It's interesting because they had the same exact draft already. So it's just something that they like. They like this Wisp Grimstroke combination. I agree with you completely.
What was the offlaner?
Not sure what the offlane was, but these three were together. Like they had, I was also looking at their drafts and I saw Wisp and Grimstroke, and I'm like, okay, this is weak for a duo of supports. One good thing that Grimstroke does bring you to the table is a hell of a lot of outpush, so you can always clear waves, and he's not greedy at all. And even though he's not greedy, he will bring you the items eventually, right? So because of that, it's kind of fine. They go what, with the Vengeful?
Yeah, that's what I like. I talked about how the Revengeful Spirit is very versatile. They can swap it around the multiple roles, and you still don't know what it is. You don't know if it's a mid, if it's an offlane.
Yeah. Ever since OG started playing it mid, right, with Thompson, it became even more versatile than before. I would suspect that it is offlane. However, Vengeful offlane plus Grimstroke doesn't really feel like the strongest lane ever. Maybe even with the Wisp, it's not really that great. But one good thing for her here already is you're playing versus an Undying. You use that Wave of Terror, you don't care really how much strength charges he stole from you. You can take him down if you're so melee.
Yeah,
if
this
you're
is
so
also a
range heroes.
comfortable hero for Team Unique. They love to have more late game insurance, I would say. So one of the reasons why they tend to get like Phantom Lancers, Lunas, Lifestealers, also a hero that scales well, very hard to deal with, especially if it's picked in the later stages of the game. And Luna also allows you to play fast. Like she is a late game hero, but she also can play extremely fast with Batrider, with this Undying. They have a lot of push potential. I mean, Batrider doesn't provide tower damage. Luna will be doing that. That's the only downside so far. But when they group up, it's a very strong lineup. A lot of slow, and you have ways of protecting this Tombstone with either Flame Break, with Telekinesis, or when they group up, you have also Luna ulti. And yeah, there's a couple of saves on Viking GG. You have Relocate, you have a swap. But you don't have that beefy offlaner. No one here is building into any kind of auras. No mech. Maybe Wisp will get mech eventually, but you don't have a pipe carrier.
My biggest issue with the Luna pick is, like, I even called it earlier, there's nothing to buff her up, right? You don't have any Beastmaster. You don't have a Vengeful. Like Luna, usually when played, at least you try to get the Beastmaster there. At least you try to get one hero that will buffer Ogre, let's say, any Wisp, perhaps. You know, this Luna is, yeah, you will be able to match the farming speed of the Wisp Gyro, perhaps, but will it be enough? Because the damage that comes from Wisp Gyro is inevitably higher than what Luna brings in these early skirmishes. And keep in mind, Wisp and Gyro, they will join these early fights. Yeah, they're farming, but Relocate is always there. And if you're fighting with the Luna, they can get on top of her and the rest of the team. So I'm not completely sold on the pick, just because there's nothing else to really complement that pick, the Luna.
So right now, how are you feeling? Because last time around, it was definitely more in Unique's favor.
I'm feeling good. I just ate carbonara, drank a Coke. You know, I'm feeling good.
Stop trying to make people hungry on the stream, Lacoste. God.
So, Unique banned out Lina, instant pick Timbersaw. They wanted to have one hero gone that can burst them down. Also, once the Aghanim Scepter upgrade is up. It's a pure damage. It's also attack speed against the Tombstone. These 4 heroes don't deal well at all against the Timber. So, Grimstroke to one extent where you use Phantom while Chakram is out and you can't attack your silence, you can't get it back, so you're losing a lot of your mana.
You have some mixed damage from the gyro as well, right? It's not the best, but it's not the worst too. You do, like, eventually you might be able to take him down. You can like, after everything is said and done, you have the last pick still to answer with that.
Yeah, how do you address this problem? I mean, you can get something like OD, maybe. That's the hero that got
Can you get
really
the
buffed.
Storm? Like, they have no reliable catch.
Storm is banned
overall.
now.
It's banned.
I mean, you need to have a hero that deals well with Timbersaw. There's still Ursa in pool, and there's still OD. I think OD became much more valuable. He was shit, man, before. Like, he was garbage tier.
What about SF or Quap for Viking GG as well? Gives you more mixed damage. It's
Okay, so they went a different route. Something that's hard to catch, which you implied, like Queen of Pain. They're very limited on the lockdown. You have Lasso, you have Telekinesis, that's it. Like, these are your 2 spells that can deal with Ember Spirit, and there's 2 saves, Swap and Relocate. And it's also a Spirit Vessel carrier against the Timbersaw, but I don't know, maybe it's time that Undying gets the first win here.
Oh, wow. Okay, so we've gone that far over that Unique could be looking at a 2-0 coming off this draft. So they're drafting well against Viking. They seem to have a match on the style that Viking wants to play here.
Yeah, it looks decent, definitely, for Team Unique this time around. I'm not completely sold again on this Timbersaw last pick. I think with the Ember pick, they have enough of this early game potential that they can play in the mid game. They can play around the Ember Spirit and relocate always with the Wisp Gyro. I don't feel like the Luna is the best carry. Like, I haven't really seen a lot of her in the last couple of days, but usually in the last month or so, if Luna has no buffs to complement her, she falls short, falls flat, like when she's playing against these gyros or anything that has a wisp to buff you up.
Unique will have issues with dealing with split push and the side lane push, relocate, Ember Spirit, hard to catch. So if they can address this problem, if they execute their ganks wall, or just force them, their lanes need to be shout out. So this is going to be the huge problem for them. They need to get a pick off, and their lineup is 5-man oriented, where they group up around Tombstone. Luna hits the tower, and that's it. But I'd still say that Unique can take it if they play it correctly.
You on the same boat, Liz?
No, I'm staying with Viking. I mean, of course, I'm in the same boat. Yeah, if they play well, they can win. But I'll still stay with Viking a little bit with the Wisp Gyro, something that is tried and tested, and they have played before, and they have won. And I don't see this combo of heroes on the side of Unique that will match up against it.
Well, I'm just amazed Lacoste even went with him because Undying is on the team. But if that happens, you know, anything can happen in this world. You're going to watch the world burn at this point. Let's get into game 2 and see if Unique can take down Viking GG, as we got Cinderin and Suns fan once again. Look, we spoke about the Undying, and sadly he crept his way back in.
What a garbage hero. They've already listened going to game 3, Cinderin. What do you think?
I don't know why you love to hate on that hero so much. I genuinely can't tell how much you... like how serious you are, like how bad you think the hero is.
Okay, I told you I don't hate him, even though it may seem like pure hatred. I do think he's pretty garbage, though. I actually do believe, like, I'm exaggerating a bit, you know, maybe 5%, but it's close enough, Cinderin, okay?
Yeah. Interesting to see the hero first picked and first banned when it's that bad.
Yes, they just have, these pro players have no idea what they're doing.
I guess they don't. I mean, it is 0-6, right? So, right, they just this is the hero you pick when you want to lose, I guess. But let's see.
I mean, imagine against I know they picked it before this, but imagine against Io Gyro, you have like a Witch Doctor, a Disruptor, a Bane, even just something that actually does something later in the game as well. They would be in a much better position. But I usually ask you who you think is going to win. Viking's going to win, Cinderin, 100%.
Stats don't lie. I think it's pretty even for me this game. But
yeah, of course.
I will say I think Vikings lineup is maybe slightly easier to play. I think the things that Unique need to do right this game are a little bit more tricky. Like they need to. It's especially. Okay,
Celery's dead. He's not dead. Keep going.
I'm mainly looking at how do they start a fight that they want, right? Your only catchers are Rubik, who's like okay, and Batrider, who's great if he has the items for it. But Undying, Timbersaw, and Luna kind of need the fight to be at least somewhat concentrated in an area. Sure, Timbersaw can chase, but if he's the only one chasing, a lot of the time it doesn't really amount to much. Toby's gonna die here. Easy peasy. This is a disgustingly strong tri-lane, by the way.
Yes.
Rubik Undying is just a godlike tri-lane on its own. You give everybody damage reduction with Fade Bolt, and then you decay them. It's really difficult to play against because you always need to reposition yourself, and it doesn't make it any easier that you're with an IO. But I was like, screw this, I'm going bot, which I think BCZ is happy here. I don't really see them putting that much pressure. You might think Gyro can pressure Timber a lot because of the magic damage, but come level 3 and especially level 5, Timber doesn't give a damn. He's already level 3 against level 1 Gyro. It's going to be
he's already out leveling. I'm actually not. Why did Io start away from Gyro to begin the game? I was a little confused by that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. I think Viking might have expected different laning from Unique, and the way they place their heroes, they wanted to like safeguard themselves, or at least try to avoid one specific matchup. But like this matchup top is something.
Yep, that's going to be rough. I mean, that's oh boy, Telekinesis. Aramis is very dead. Toby can only look on in horror. And this is what Undying, his entire value is, right? Is winning a lane, especially if it's a tri-lane, just destroy people. Of course, it is a 3v2, so if they're able to somehow live through these engagements, then they can get the better of it in terms of experience. But what time is it, Cinderin? It's 2 minutes and 28 seconds. It's still before 5 minutes, so Undying is still a hero.
In terms of like tri-lane, like when I just think back on Dota, I think the two heroes that I think about the most as flat out just tri-lane dominators are Undying and Visage. But Visage doesn't really get played. Like tri versus tri is not that common right now, but if you imagine that became meta, Visage would become a very popular hero. It's just this ability, like these heroes that scale directly with the amount of heroes in the lane, right? You could say Rubik does the same with Fate Bolt, technically, as long as the enemy heroes are placed correctly next to each other. But Undying and Visage in particular, just like monsters, the more heroes are in their lane. And yeah, I would say Unique have taken really good advantage of that. Like whether they shut down Venge or Gyro, the fact is Timber can lane against the other one mega easily. So BCZ should have a free farm game here. I don't really think Viking have options that solve that problem. Even if they were to tri-lane him, I think they would be happy with that. Just be like, whatever. You know, he could survive even 3 heroes down here. That does make this Timbersaw pick very powerful this game. Let's say BZZ historically doesn't have the best track record on this hero win rate wise, but I think he's stepped it up lately. I believe in his last 10 games it was 50%. Compared to, there was some point where he had like 50 games with a 25% win rate or something absurd, like something really bad scoreline. I think it was him.
Pretty bad.
Yeah. But
worse than my Pudge win rate. That's real bad.
Oof.
Top lane, Inkswell. They connect onto the Rubik. Toby still has Magic Missile to deploy here. Still only level 2 right now. There are only 3 minutes in the game, of course. There's the double decay. Telekinesis on Aramis. A run away now, but does
There's boots
use
on
the Fairy Fire, but decay is going to be not even needed, actually.
And the thing about this kill is, I mean, yeah, it's a 2v2, right? It's a 2v2, they get the kill, and Toby just missed like half a wave of experience. Luna just free farmed this whole wave in the meantime. You can't be happy with this if you're Viking, I think. You're playing a 2v1 bottom, which you're drawing, and you're playing a 3v2 top where you're getting destroyed, and the mid lane is Batrider favored. You're effectively losing, indirectly you're losing 3 lanes. They're not going to lose bottom on net worth, probably, but in a 1v2, if you have the same as the enemy carry in that lane, you're like super happy, almost always.
Yeah.
So Unique again off to a hot start in laning. Should be very happy with this.
And we haven't really talked about mid too much here as the Searing Chains come out. Batrider versus Ember Spirit. So what do you think of Batrider in a game as the DD is denied? And very annoying for 19 as an empty bottle. Batrider against the Vengeful Spirit. Like typically I don't think you would care that much because it's usually a support Venge. I mean, this is turning into a support Venge right now, but once you get those levels up, it looks like Toby's going to die. That's going to be his second death. Thoughts on going against a core Venge that will have a higher level of swap throughout the game, in theory, at least?
I don't know. I don't really consider Venge the counter to Bat that it used to be, regardless of role. I just think Batrider has way more depth than it used to. Like, if you think back 5 years, sure. Batrider went Blink Force, and all it did was try to catch one person and start a fight and make it 5v4. But now, Bats play a lot more around just overall mobility, damage with Firefly, pushing waves. Yeah, Aramis is mega dead here.
Aramis really tried for that courier, took heavy damage from the tower, and then dies to the Batrider. That is really rough.
To me,
now the bounties come up.
The real counters to Batrider nowadays are heroes that either lane against it well or that can remove sticky napalm. I think that is a bigger counter overall than something that breaks lasso. It's why Oracle is so good, because it does both, right? It can break lasso and it can remove napalm. And it's why Abaddon is so good, because he can do both on top of laning against Bat easily. So it's like this subset of heroes carries like Life Stealer or Juggernaut, PL, Faceless Void. Not because he removes napalm, but he just removes the spell for a long time, right? With time dilation. To me, those are the ways you counter Bat. I don't really think this Venge is a counter. Oh my god, BCC's level 6 bot, they're level 3 and 4.
Yeah. I mean, I understand what they're trying to do, because in theory, like you were talking about, Rocket Barrage after a homing missile, I mean, it can do a lot of damage to Timber, but the problem is you're getting horribly out-leveled right now. There's so many creeps to deal with.
The way I see it, this lane has one opportunity to kill Timber, and that's when Gyro hits level 3.
And that's while Timber is level 3, I assume.
Yeah, ideally, or level 2,
6.
of course, right? Like, then you maybe have a kill, but as soon as Timber's level 5, there's just no way. You can't pierce through all this. You have no, like, passive damage that will slowly get into
Aramis is dead again in the top lane. So, again, I mean...
Dude, Unique are owning today.
Off to a great start.
They're playing super well. Got the lanes they wanted. They've set up the matchups nicely. They've won 2 side lanes. They've won mid. Can't really ask for much more than this. Now it's just about
how much are they winning mid right now? It's 41 and 10.
Oh, it's a draw actually.
Versus the 43 and 2. So.
Mid lane in this matchup comes down a lot to the runes, right? If IO doesn't deny that DD bot, I think Batrider would have almost a 10 CS lead now, because he would have got a free full wave that Ember couldn't contest, but now they're still toe-to-toe.
He has a bit of an advantage in terms of the levels right now as well. His top lane, again, Toby is level 3. It's a 2v3 against a tri-lane, including the Luna, who's level 5 right now. They've been giving him so much space.
He's getting 6.
It's crazy. This creep will do it.
You said core Venge. Like, at this point, he actually has support levels. Literally. It's level 4 minutes 730. Like, that's actually position 4 tier. So... the issue I see here is I don't really see Vikings solving any problems right now, and I don't see them forcing Unique into anything. They're just getting mega out-leveled. Level 2 Grim, level 3 Venge. And the only moving piece they really have is Ember.
Oh boy. Tombstone top. Toby is just... this is going to be the 3rd death now. And you can't even blame him. There's like, what can he do in this lane? Just getting decimated. And with that tombstone down, they're going to kill the illusion and just go for this tier 1 tower.
Dire structures are fortified.
I mean, Aramis on the Grimstroke is level 2 at 8 minutes. That is not what you want to see.
He's not even close to level 3. This might help.
2.5 right now.
Way too early.
If they can get Batrider, this would be huge. Gets off the flame now.
They just don't have any damage. Ember had Flame Guard cooldown, and this Grim is like doing his best, but it's not enough, you know? When you try your best, but you don't succeed. Oh my.
Oh my. Alright, Io is no longer a hero. Yeah, this is just domination in the laning stage. Crazy. Hey, if you can win every game with Undying this hard in the laning stage, then I'd pick it every time as well, Synderen. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, the thing is, so here's the deal, right? You first picked Undying. And in my opinion, Viking did not counter it with their laning. Like, they actually... you're playing into Undying's hand when you make these lanes against him. The only hero that they picked in this game that is really good in a side lane against Undying is actually the Gyrocopter. Who can be good because he has so much magic damage, right? If coupled correctly. but their support duo they just can't match up. And you can't
this might
really
be the first kill
dodge
for
either.
Viking. Much needed onto this Undying.
Making them work
Makes it
for
a
it.
little bit more difficult with the Decay and Soul Rip, but finally, first kill on the board for Viking. Toby still not level 6, not even remotely close, in fact. RMS takes 1 Fade Bolt and is at half HP.
Might have baited here,
Could
though.
help. Yeah, boom, with a nice Searing Chains, but the follow-up Telekinesis. It means the Inkswell is not going to connect. Actually put it on himself. That was
I
interesting.
misclicked.
Might have been misclicked there.
Yeah.
Radiant
But in terms of farm, net worth-wise, the Ember is really the only shining light here for Viking. Gyro's not that far behind, but in terms of levels, like, BZZ just dominated them.
Unique
Level
got
9
4
right now.
bounties here. Yep.
Oh, boy. Yep, that's just going to accelerate everything for them. Palantimos knows that Toby's in the trees. Toby is level 6 now, finally. Will TP out, so no Lucent Beam. Going to find him this time around. TP's to the tier 2 top. We'll just have to walk back here. 3K net worth lead overall at the current point. Chad working towards his drums right now. And Mech not too far away for Celery as well.
Did Toby take the tome to get 6? I feel like he must have,
Oh,
right?
is that what happened? Venge still level...
No, never mind. He didn't take
Grim's
he
still
didn't
level
take
2?
tome. He did.
Grim's 4 now. Toby is also dead again. I mean, he's just being left alone. He's like getting... He's basically no support. But here comes Ember finally after the death. Going for Vance score. Oh, it's going to be close. Finally gets that Remnant. Finds it in the end. It's a 1-for-1. It's just a support, though. But they'll take anything they can get at this stage. Batrider has the Boots of Travel versus Ember's phase drums, essentially. There's the silence. This is actually a pretty good bait. Inkswell connects, and IO Gyro come in to finish the job. So that was definitely a nice execution there for Viking.
This is really how Viking come back into this game, is that everything happens around Ember. There's a lot of pressure on Boom because he needs to deal a lot of the damage and set up basically every kill almost. They can utilize Venge a little bit here, but there's so much he has to get done. And then they can use Relocate. So has to make a lot of good moves. Pushing out mid here, really good. So he can get the 12-minute rune, hopefully get a haste or an invis if he's looking to gank again. And you also see it in his skill build, right? This is a killer Ember build. It's not the... Or rather, this is a lockdown Ember build, if you will. He has maxed out chains.
Oh! Yes, Telekinesis, Rube. So the Stolen Remnants. I've actually never seen the Arcana version of that. The green Remnants. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you have to... I think a lot of the time Embers will... Like, the common build is to get 1 in chains or maybe 2, and then max the other 2 spells. I think in this game, maxing chains is actually a really good call. His teammates just need the extra lockdown to be able to connect with Relocate and get their spells off reliably.
And most of Unique have gathered around this tier 1 mid, which has already been fortified. Looks like Viking wants to defend. They have the Gyro Ember IO. TP is available for Aramis. I'm pretty sure Venge will not want to fight anytime soon. He's just trying to catch up with all his might. Level 7 now, just barely. Finishing his phase boots here in just a moment. What itemization do you go for on a 3 Venge? Is it like Hurricane Pike, kind of utility? Do you go a little bit of right click at some point?
Now you get your phase boots.
1 item at a time? Is that what you're saying? Focus on one thing at a time, young one.
I'm saying he's not having a good time, okay?
Yeah.
So maybe we don't start thinking about Hurricane Pike in this game.
Let's queue up his next 3 items to give him
I
some
think he
hope.
should get Vlad's, probably. Like, Vlad's Solar Crest. You need to make Gyro strong. He's going to be the carrying force of the game eventually.
Fair enough. EZZ pulling a wave now, finding 0 resistance. Gonna connect them here as just gonna gain all that reactive armor. Probably go for this tier 1 at some point. Oh, Boom, actually getting a little bit aggressive. Has to back up as he sees the literal entire Unique team here. Aramis Inkswells himself, dissuades the enemy from approaching. But either way, they'll be happy with this tier 1. As Pipe is getting pretty close for Timbersaw. And what's the What's the point for Unique that they can just start going for fights constantly? Is it a specific item? Is it a specific level? Is it maybe Roshan at some point?
Bad Rider's BKB will make them incredibly powerful. It should line up nicely with Timber getting a pipe plus a little bit extra. I foresee just Viking having damage problems, right? How are you killing this Timber Saw right now when he has the pipe? How are you killing his team? Pipe, Soul Rip.
Bottom lane.
Got
Like
Rubik.
Ember does clean up the Rubik.
It's gonna cost.
So here comes the lasso initiation. This might be the first lasso of the entire game. It does take out Toby.
Just around the bounty rune timing. Nice chains from Boom. And they got 3 bounties.
They got 3 out of 4.
One Viking.
Not too shabby. This Luna right now sitting on Tread's Manta. Looking very strong right now as top of the net worth. Actually, this is surprising. 2 and 3 on the charts are actually Gyro Ember. So Timbersaw has fallen off a bit. Maybe that's the name of the game.
Bat Rider
Get
mid, relocate.
cores, oh boy, yeah. Bat Rider's donezo. So Viking getting aggressive now. They're going to find the Undying. So that's going to be 2 free kills. And Gyro and company can go back to farming wherever the hell they came from.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Do a little bit of damage to the tier 1. We'll fall back now. But Yasha on Gyro is going for the SNY BKB. Is Ags still? I guess he's not going to be going Ags at all. Do you want something that procs? Maybe later game, I suppose. That's still something we see on Gyro.
I think. Yeah, I think Ags will maybe be like 3rd or 4th item this game, maybe. Because I think at this point, you're going to finish the BKB for sure, so you have a fighting chance. And then I think maybe you go MKB to prepare for Luna's Butterfly.
Yep. Man score's dead. It is past the 5-minute mark, so Undying's dead. But here comes the big Eclipse. This is going to be the first one of the game. The lasso combination. But look at the heal from Celery, keeping the Ember Spirit alive. But will it matter? The Remnant's out to safety. He's still very low. Can they chase? The net comes into play. His 5 stacks of sticky napalm. He's out of Remnants. Takes them forever. But they do find it. They get revenge for the Undying kill. And now Aramis, Inkswells himself. Not really. Actually does connect on the Timbersaw. Homing missile as well. Nice swap onto the Rubik. Dies onto the tier 2. Now BZZ gets swapped. That's the 2nd charge. And that's going to be another kill. So a little too deep here for Unique. But they did find the Ember Spirit at the beginning of this fight.
Yeah. This is a counter we haven't talked about, but it's actually one of my favorite heroes to play against this Grimstroke is Timbersaw. You just put Phantom's Embrace on him when he's throwing out the Chakram, and he can't do anything. It just lasts full duration. He can't hit because he disarms himself, and he's silenced, so he can't cast any of his spells.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a pretty annoying matchup for Timber, where you need to think outside the box a little bit, like Yules, maybe BKB. If it becomes too big of a problem in the game, he's queuing up the Yules now. I think it's the right call. And Yules also has added benefit here. You can purge off Flame Guard, you can protect yourself when you're getting comboed by the Gyro. There's different options here. But yeah, that's a really good fight for Viking. They're definitely getting back into the game. I mean, they're probably already in a comfortable position here. It's very even. I was expecting Unique to be doing a little bit better right now in these fights, but they're just getting outplayed. That's all there really is to it.
I mean, Unique definitely won the laning stage by quite a lot. But Viking has come back with, I mean, the relocates have been quite solid. You're looking at this stack of Ancients now, so Shad has put himself in very comfortable position. Continue to farm to a high consideration. Finishing his BKB very shortly, just a few hundred gold away. But they'll probably lose a tier 2 in the process as they take out this Ancient stack. He's only a couple hundred off the recipe now for that BKB. And I'll ask the question now for Viking. Is there a point for them, an item? Obviously the BKB is probably the biggest one right now that they're waiting for.
Gyro
has
BKB is always big.
Ember looks like... Did he just finish the BKB? Yes. So they got double BKB. This is a good time for them.
This is actually prime time for them. I think for a while now their lineup will have a lot of options just because The Radiant can't really kill BKB heroes. Luna's a spread damage carry, and the rest of her team don't really deal physical damage.
Manscore is going to be the first to fall, it looks like. Here comes the Eclipse. You're going to see the BKBs come out eventually. Looks like the Undying did die first. BZZ very low right now. Stuck inside this Roche area Celery. Kiting very high. Chad able to take out another hero as Luna drops to the deck. So a 3-for-0 as Viking are just getting everything they want now.
Great use
the
of their
BKBs.
Yeah, double BKB.
That was the reveal. That's a big deal.
Unique were not ready at all for that. You could see him run in straight up top the Eclipse, and then the 2 BKBs just go off. That's class play. That's what you want to do. You hit your timing, you use it immediately to the biggest possible effect. You get 3 kills, tier 1 tower mid. You immediately invade, get bounty runes. This is great stuff coming out from Vikings. Like they're waking up a little bit now. And their lineup's really coming together now with these BKBs. That's what they've been waiting for.
He's cliffed! He's cliffed! The remnants out in frustration. But it actually does save Rubik's Luck. Okay, I'm going to have a I'm not going to meme now, okay? I'm going to have a serious conversation with you, and I'm going to try not to meme. Yes. This hero, even if they win the landing stage, I'm not going to say that he's the reason they're losing right now, as we're going to see BZZ come in with that Chakram. Bad on the run. Celery looking for the tether, but he gets Flamebrook, it looks like. Flame Broken? Yeah, that's probably more proper.
Flamebrook?
He got Flame... I said Flame Broke, but that's still probably not right. Toby looks to be next on the list here. It's a little bit sloppy here from Viking.
You know that feeling when you run out of fire?
With Undying. Flame Broke? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe able to get this Roshan, it looks like, actually. That'd be a nice...
It's a pretty slow Rosh.
It is, but...
Viking, with some...
They're not getting close.
They're not going to be able to. They can't stop this.
Just tell me, legitimately, after the 15-minute mark, what is Undying's role? It feels like, and nothing to do with Van score, it's just something I see literally every competitive game I watch. He just looks... I know that his ult amplifies damage, so it scales really well. But he's just like a walking creep. You know, he's just a walking creep for the most part.
He's a plant. Look at him.
Maybe the biggest issue with him is I know he's a plant. I mean, he's feeding.
You asked what he's doing. He's a plant.
Nothing.
Plants do something. They contribute to the ecosystem.
Passively. You're saying something that we can't physically see.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
to be the biggest buff for Undying is just some way to farm, because maybe that's the reason he's just so bad.
That is the hero's biggest flaw. It's his inability to push creeps. If he had wave clear, the hero would be insane. It's like, because he's one of the strongest laners. He has a really good team fight spell. He has the best ulti in the game, according to Suns fan. So if he also had wave clear, he would be insane.
Yeah. So, again, when's the last time you heard, Cinder, when's the last time you heard somebody say, and he casts Flesh Golem? Oh! Never in the history has anyone said that.
I suppose. You're not wrong. When's the last
time
you heard someone say, oh my god, he cast Elder Dragon form?
Oh my god, he got Flame Broke, Cinderin. That's what you were going to say. That would have been a good opportunity.
Okay, so serious talk about Undying. Let's finish it off.
Yeah.
So at 15 minutes, Undying has a couple of things he brings to the table. First of all, he has a really good heal in big fights. That's the primary use of Soul Rip, of course, is the defensive one. And Tombstone at that point in the game is still amazing if the type of fights is the correct type, right? That's the problem. That's the problem the hero always has, is the more mobile the fight is, the worse he is. So if the fight is like around Roshan, for example, Undying can be amazing for 2 reasons. First of all, he has Tombstone. Secondly, everybody's there, so Soul Rip will be good. And for the third good reason, Flesh Golem now amplifying damage, I think it works fully on Roshan, right? So you're effectively helping.
It's always worked on Roshan that way. Whenever
it didn't have damage amp last patch, right?
Right.
But
in the patches that he did,
you help kill Roshan a lot faster for your team, so that's also a really big strategic advantage. But then his major downfalls: he's slow, he can't push waves, he's very bad at mobile fights, and a lot of the time in Dota in general, I would say in the last 2 years, speed has just been ramped up, right? Heroes move faster, there's more mobility items, neutral items make people faster, it makes them farm faster. So his curve, he kind of just gets overtaken really quickly. And that's where you really, as a team, in my opinion, I think just justifying winning the lane stage is not enough. You need to incorporate Undying into your strategy. Like, how are you going to use him? How are you going to use Tombstone? Like, can you... And that's where I love the Luna pick, because she often is able to force these high ground fights where the enemy team have to come defend. And then you're fighting into Tomb. But, yeah. Major flaws and major strengths, too. It's just a lot of the time we don't get to see the strengths as much as we maybe would like. All right, let's see what's the smoke here. There's a dagger on 19.
Arcane Rune on 19 as well. So he's going to get mega value. Goes for the IO. See if they can blow him up or not. Lucent Beam, but there's a swap save from Toby. They're still going to focus on Celery. He looks to be very close to dying. One hit away. And the Grimstroke, actually that was Rubik using the Grimstroke spell to high effectiveness.
That's the most ambitious TP I've ever seen. He was literally next to a Luna with no cooldown. Wow.
No, it's interesting how this game has kind of transpired.
Yeah.
As looks like 19 is he actually looking for something? It's a gyro nearby. I'm going to see him now. TP support coming in as well. Homing missile. All right, they'll be able to get one. Soulbind keeps them in place. It forces a BKB for essentially a Grimstroke, but they'll take it. But it's just so weird. Unique was winning pretty hardcore in the laning stage, and Viking had a few good fights, and it looked like they were primed to actually just start snowballing in their favor. Yeah. And now Unique has turned it around. I felt like the BKB purchases from Viking would put them over the top, at least for the time being, but the later this game goes, obviously the lesser the BKBs are going to be effective.
It's also the type of fights that they find, right? Like, if it's Batrider opening the fight and setting the tone, and they don't get to be grouped up, it's way harder to use these BKBs effectively, right? The Radiant, sure, the Undying might not be mobile, but their other heroes are very mobile. Rubik has Dagger, Timbersaw is mobile, Batrider is mobile, Luna has high move speed, she's pretty quick to move around. So you kind of have to take a fight where you get to either initiate or be close together so that you can solve this Batrider catch. And it just hasn't really happened. Damn, they're really standing their ground with this Aegis.
Yeah, swap onto BZZ. The Aegis has been consumed. They're trying to take out this Tombstone. Looks like they'll do so. Actually, gets Soul Rip. Going to stay alive for a little bit longer. BZZ now attempting to get out of this base. Undying has died. Timbersaw is next, so Viking lose Toby. It looks like this fight will break up now. Butterfly is able to be completed here in just a moment from Palentimus, and the later this game goes, obviously right now she's mostly doing, I mean she's definitely doing a lot of physical, but their lineup is mostly magic at this stage.
Yeah,
but it's going to start to swing a little bit as she gets some DPS.
Yeah, unfortunately for Luna, this is the exact timing Gyro gets MKB, so the evasion will have much reduced effect in this game. Would have loved to be ahead for like a couple minutes so that he could really play that timing, but it doesn't really exist in the same way. Still though, like, it's funny because these two carries, I like to compare Luna and Gyro a lot because in a way they do a lot of the same stuff, right? They're physical and magical at the same time. They're really good at spread damage, but not so much at single target, where, yeah, one has the beam and the other has the barrage, but in mid-game, it's about the glaives, it's about Eclipse, and for Gyro it's about call down and a flak cannon, right? So none of them is actually very good at killing BKB'd heroes. They're good at killing the rest. And both teams kind of have this curse right now where the single target guy that's BKB, they can't really kill. Like, how do you kill Batrider as Dire right now, for example, in BKB? How do you kill the Timber in general? It takes really long. The Luna BKB'd versus Gyro will be a fight for the ages where everybody is just there. But as these items ramp up, it will become more and more possible. The smoke is super important. They get the...
Oh, initiation. Oh, but a nice swap from Toby, canceling that lasso as Io still tethered to the gyrocopter. Going to try to position himself outside the fight. He's only at half HP.
Oh, boom, died.
Ember Spirit did die in the fight, though. As this chase continues onto the Io, they have really focused in on this Io. Celery, very low on mana. Now inside his base, don't think he's approachable anymore.
8 stacks, though.
Okay, 8 stacks. Flame Break to follow. Lucent Beam. Oh! All right, very approachable indeed.
Yeah. When you have 9 stacks of Napalm on you and you get Flame Broken, I think it's like over 1,000 damage. Just that spell alone. But then you add some Timber into the mix. This is Looking dodgy for Viking. Okay,
Io does
Undying
buy
just wanted
back.
to
All
die.
right. Always does. That's his whole role. Eclipse to follow. This will be a huge kill on the gyrocopter. There's a swap from Toby. Shad continuing to be tethered by Aya, who bought back. So with that, I believe that Unique need to get out of dodge. Homing missile is coming. Shad looking for some sort of consolation prize. So far, it's going to be Rubik. That's another homing missile. Don't think it's going to be close enough, though. Away they go. Very back and forth game right now.
That whole pause at the tower messed things up so bad. I don't even know who benefited and who didn't. Like, it was weird. The pause ends. Undying just dies. They eclipse like half the team next to the tower. The key thing there, really swap plus 4 staff coming in handy from Venge. Liking the 4 staff quite a bit this game. It helps them a lot with escaping Luna's Eclipse. It helps them with getting away from Timbersaw. And it gives them some way of dealing with Tombstone as well as the Batrider, to be honest. So very nice item. Might want to get another one of those. Wouldn't mind seeing a second one of Grimstroke over the dagger he has queued up right now, to be honest. I think it would be very, very nice.
So at this stage, I mean, we talked about this before. I'm going to have this conversation again. That swap from Toby at the beginning of the fight, that saved Io's life for a long time. That elongated the fight big time. That was the counter to the lasso we were kind of talking about.
I think
not to say the Batrider has
Venge
no,
if possible. Like, if this is how bad it's going to be playing fights, you can't lasso a Wisp next to Venge. It doesn't really do much. If you lasso the Venge, that's a really big hero out of the fight. It's a big kill for them to get. Like, that component of Venge is still there, right? I was talking about counters to bad. Like, of course, if you lasso somebody next to Venge, you're gonna get caught in a swap, right? But
well, you're playing kind of a 5-man lineup on both sides at this stage, right? So it feels like he's going to be next to him a lot. Nice cancel the TP there as Vanscore will be dying for the 8th time this game.
Way to make it sound like it's nothing.
Now.
Par for the
There's
course.
Certain heroes. I mean, I look at certain heroes on a competitive level, and all I think of is death. That is one of them.
Yeah, I mean, it is true. He does die a lot, that hero.
And when I look at certain players, I think of death as well. Not in this game, thankfully. Solo is actually the hero, or the player I was talking about. When I think of him, I think of just feeding. It's usually in a tactical manner, so it's not even a bad thing, you know?
Right. He's very selfless.
Yeah.
There's a couple of players like that.
I think it's more masochistic at a certain point, to be perfectly honest. Just wants to die.
This could be the most important fight of the whole game. Double damage gyro, forcing Roche. Oof. If Unique try to contest this, they need to be really careful. Instant smoke here after the flame break.
Oh, BZZ gets swapped into the entirety of the team, but a nice Yules. But
he missed the chain.
He's at so little HP. They're going to blow him up. He's going to buy back into the game immediately. Soulbind onto 2. Luna is one of them. He's BKB. Manta's off, and he's just forced to run. Hasn't even popped the Eclipse yet. Waiting for those BKBs to dissipate. There's the Eclipse. He's going to die shortly after. A double kill for Shad. And this is quickly falling apart.
I don't think they realized Gyro had double damage. I just genuinely don't think they knew.
I mean, I didn't know either. I looked at him when you said it. I'm like, it doesn't look like he does. There's basically no particles with Io
man,
attached.
BZZ, he gets off a really good Yules against the Venge stun. And he can chain before he gets hit by the Phantom's Embrace. But he chained nothing. You have 2.5 seconds in the air to think about your decision in your life, right? Find a tree. Find a tree and get the hell out of there. Even if he didn't get far. Like, if he just got to the high ground, say, this tree. You can see me drawing, right?
Where?
Oh, you don't see my
It doesn't
pings.
matter. No, I can't see it, and it doesn't matter because other people can't see it either. So you're just talking to
true.
yourself.
Yeah. So anyway, if he got to the tree just above the ledge below Roche, right? Any tree there, if he pulls the fight away, his team has such a positional advantage from having the high ground. But if it's in the middle of the river like that, it's bad news. Fighting into a double damage in the river, they have good position, they have vision. And your Timber has to buy back immediately.
And Gyro is enormous.
Getting real big now. Got Scotty, he's working on butter.
Not only that, but Celery with a cheese is, I mean, this is, I think, the best hero in the entire game to have cheese. It'll be that much more difficult to take him out, and without the buybacks to speak of. Now that the net worth discrepancy, 5K difference, essentially between, or more like 4K, I guess, between Luna and Gyro. Luna had the advantage for a long time, but it just feels like she just doesn't do that much damage yet. She really, Satanic will help a lot for sustaining, and it's really about those Manta illusions. Gyro now is the one that's the monster that right clicks to a high degree. I'm so surprised he's not going Ags, by the way.
I mean, at this rate, he might get it from
on
Roche.
that Roche. True. You give it to him over Ember? I guess so. I mean, Ember's, I think, is
You give it to
actually
Gyro.
better in general, but this game,
think you
since
give
he's
it to
so
Gyro.
farmed.
Yeah. Oh, Venge got an Aeon disc, so now the option of starting on Venge doesn't even exist anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, they might even find Bat here. This is a really clever smoke. That is...
Shivas is going to
Swap
spot him
number
out. There's the
one.
swap, but a blink with the BKB activated. Flame break. Another remnant and another swap. And Unique just can't find any openings now. Looked like such a promising game with the Undying dominating the laning stage. Been playing 4v5 ever since, Syndrome. AK. Alantimos, Glimmer caped. Bust him. Are they actually going to go for this? He pops the BKB, they force it. Very smart play. Telekinesis onto the eye. Remember, he has cheese, but here comes the Eclipse. They can layer everything properly. So he pops the cheese and stays alive as a result. 4 staffs to safety. Buyback is forced as well, but nope, finally goes down. Maybe they bit off too much to chew here, Cinder. I've been there very many times myself. Chad, taken out. That's just the Aegis, though. Boom
Dieback
comes in with the newly
Batrider.
picked up Shiva's guard. Oh, you're right. That was a dieback. BZZ looks to be next. The tree he found was not inside the base, unfortunately. And even though they don't have Io with the gyrocopter doing this much damage, I feel like they can get at least a lane of Rax, if not more.
You get 2 sides here. You get mid and top, I think.
They don't have that much sustain, though, without the Io, so might be backing
They're missing
up
the
now.
mid wave. The thing is, there's some info they don't have. They don't know that there's 0... Yeah, they do know there's 0 buybacks, right? Yeah, they both used it. They do have this information. They have a Venge with Vlad's, so they can heal up their gyro fully. I am so surprised they're not pushing high ground here. I think this would be a very easy one. If Unique try to come close and stop them at all, they can Venge swap and kill. In a flat-out 4v3 where they have full mana and HP on Ember, and Gyro's looking good too, I think it's just an oversight to go back. But okay. Keep building their lead instead.
Chad has his sight, despite being 6 slotted, has his sights on a Satanic now, so there'll be a pocket BKB, or maybe, is there any way you drop the phase boots?
I think so, yeah. Pocket phase.
Okay.
And then you can swap them in when you've used BKB, perhaps.
And the next Roche, it'll be a 50-50 between the Shard and the Ags. I think they will definitely benefit with the Ags over the Shard.
He doesn't want the leveler. He wants the sliver. Guess his attack speed is high enough as it is, right?
I think a lot of people just pocket the leveler for the when they push. For some reason, I feel like the attack speed is pretty damn good. It doesn't. I don't think it gives any stats though, right?
No.
Yeah, just attack speed and building damage. But 60 is a lot.
Radiant's
I
bottom
believe that's
tower
more than a
has
Hyperstone. Or that's the exact same as a Hyperstone. Free Hyperstone. $10K net worth lead now for Viking as double magic lamp. My goodness gracious. From each respective side, Ember's actually building an Aghanim Scepter himself now to go along with his Lincoln's Shiva's BKB. Luna, in the meantime, did finish the Satanic and has Divine Rapier queued up. But it'll be Undying's dead.
That was actually a really cute try. He went and took the outpost, and just when he was about to complete it, he glimmered. Then he completed it, started TPing out, and they relocate in with dust, and they kill him from 100 to 0 in 2 seconds. But it was a nice try. If he had
Sad
any
days.
more armor, he would have lived there.
A blade mail. Is that a worthy item? for Undying this game?
It's something. I don't think so. I think he should get Auras for his team.
All right. He did pick up a
Fine
Philosopher's
glance.
Stone, so
Yeah, he's going somewhere.
he's getting some gold. And that's his farming mechanism. Just hope to Gaben that drops in the jungle. Wow, Grimstroke is closing in. Well, by closing in, I mean relatively close to a sheep stick, so might be seeing some double sheeps here pretty soon.
Radiant are
That is,
scanning.
I mean, he has Blink as well on top of Aethers, so
Yeah, he's farmed.
not often you see that at 39 minutes.
Remember when he was level 2 minute 8?
Yeah, it feels like a different game.
What a recovery story. I had to do a double take to make sure this was the same game in my head. I was like, really? Is this the same hero?
3
Did he
games in this
actually
game,
recover
feels
that?
like. The next game is
been
when
weird.
Viking throws and we go to 60 minutes and see tier 5 items.
Oh, that was last game. Oh, 2 games ago, rather.
That was the best of 1. Yeah.
That was
See it
also
again. Batrider working on an Octarine. I mean, not really very close, though. It's been a recovery story for the Toby's Venge as well. You talked about having to get the Aeon disc here. Feels like his swap has been invaluable this game in so many scenarios. I feel like that's maybe the biggest benefit of this hero, having as a core, is getting level 3 Nether swap is just insane.
It
It's
is
one of
a
the
really
best
good
spells in the
spell.
entire game. Trying to think of single target spells that are better. Doom comes to mind, and not many others, honestly. It's got to be up there. Single
What about
target
Soul
spells.
Rip?
That's not one of them.
Okay.
I'll say Tombstone is one of the best building spells in the game.
Yeah. Out of the 5 that
Also,
exist.
yeah, it's only one of the few.
Or wait, what even exists?
There's less than 5.
Cogs, Plague Wards,
Plague Wards aren't buildings.
Serpent Wards.
I was thinking more things that require X amount of hits. So Egg.
Dire
That's
lost
Egg and
What else
Tombstone,
is there?
isn't it?
Is that it? I thought there was a third.
Is there anything else? I don't know.
Maybe not.
Cogs? Do you count those?
I guess so. Yeah, that should count. Just the 3. Perfect. They're going for this for BZZ and the Batrider. BZZ should be able to TP out, and he does, but Batrider. Oh, he does blink. There's the Soulbind.
Oh, lucky Flicker.
Flicker, about 100 units ahead. Flickers again, and destroyed.
Such a stupid item.
The fact that you can't dispel Phantom's Embrace just makes it so ridiculously good.
You dropped a gem, but
Hey,
nobody noticed, I think.
That's almost a
Oh,
building.
Venge saw it. Okay, Venge
Phantom
did.
Embrace.
Okay,
requires a
Toby's
certain amount of
TPing next
attack.
to a gem. Interesting. Oh well.
Okay.
Maybe they'll find it later. Their courier's also not going for it. There's the Hex from Grim.
Tasty, tasty delight. God, the Aether Lens. Does he have the talent as well? Yeah, 100 cast range talent in addition to the Aether. Whew. Feels really good playing this hero with cast range. Imagine playing this hero with... Oh, what's the item called? What's the tier 5 item called, Synderen? I can't believe I
Seer
can't
Stone?
remember. Seer Stone. Oh my god, it feels so good.
How good do you really think Seer Stone is?
I think it's extremely good, actually.
Really?
But it has to be specific heroes. Yeah. Had a lot of experience with these in POG.
Yeah.
Great representation of regular Dota.
I was about to say that's
Alright.
a 1-to-1 with Dota.
Refresher Shard is picked up, so no Ags for Gyro. I'm sure he's actually very sad about that.
We're in desperation mode for Luna as well. Gonna get Rapier here in 50 gold. She will
He's actually
smoke.
really close.
Should probably run to the enemy secret shop and buy it there with her TP scroll. But no, going back to base. Is that's Gyro's courier at Roche getting ready to buy, or at the secret shop?
Oh my
getting
god,
by
he was
Satanic.
actually holding on to Philosopher's Stone from Undying.
Yeah.
Undying is so starved for gold. He's like, please, I just need a little bit of gold.
And he can throw it now. He has the gold for Demon Edge. He has it in backpack. You know, at
This
least
courier It's the courier here, Cinder.
Radiant are scanning.
Oh
At their
boy.
secret shop.
They see it on a ward.
They do.
They're gonna try to go cut it
Rubik
off.
is here.
Ember is on the way. Ember wants to kill it.
Oh boy.
Wise
Should be-
choice. They gave
Wait,
the demon
there's
edge to
nothing on
Rubik.
it.
They gave the demon edge to Rubik before TP'd him.
okay. Yeah. Very smart.
Playing it very safe. Vikings should know this happened, though. They saw Demon Edge, and they have seen Luna beforehand with Relic. So they should know the Rapier is online.
And a leveler, Cinderman. So Pockets, the Titan Sliver, is holding on to Philosopher's Stone. Just does not want to give it to her Undying ever again. I mean, he is holding Magic Lamp, so I'm sure he's fine with that now. All right. This is a double damage, though, for the Gyrocopter, who's now
boy,
level
not again.
25. He is working
getting a
on
bottle.
the Ags himself now. Might as well. Level is Luna. She's only 23, so if she at 25 with 30% lifesteal, do you still take the Eclipse Lucent mini stun though?
I think you take lifesteal, probably, this game. I know you have Satanic and a Vlad's in your team, but I still think you need all the lifesteal you can get. These fights are going to be kind of like stand your ground and hit, and eventually BKBs expire, and then the difference maker is whether you get in an extra 200 or 300 health per hit or not.
They've bottled up this double damage rune for Shad, so hold on to it for a little bit longer. Starve out the enemy. Just that much more. 20k network lead now. Aegis still intact, of course. Minutes to go on that. Who's the refresher short on?
Ember.
I was going to say it's on Ember. It would be so good on Grim. Oh my god, it would be so good on Grim. But Ember did build an Aghanim Scepter himself, so he's going to have ridiculous mobility. Does that refresh all of your remnants?
Yeah.
Like all charges?
Yes.
Okay. That's pretty value then. Also has a Spell Prism on top of that. That's pretty nice.
It's quite possibly the best tier 4 item for Ember, I think. It has to be. Spell Prism is so good on that hero.
Dire are scanning.
Oftentimes you see Embers buy Octarine Core. He's actually going for that as well in this game, just because it's all about the spam. It's reduce your cooldown so you can keep slight chaining people. You kind of get the CDR component for free when you buy
If
Spell
you're
Prism.
Shad,
Or
do
get it
you... He has the DD activated now. Do you buy the Ags now that you have Aegis, so you don't have to worry about buyback? Or do you still hold on to all that buyback money?
I think in this game you buy it now. Don't think he has to worry too much. Like, you're far ahead, you have total map dominance. At the same time, if the enemy team isn't trying to do anything, do you need any item? Like, if Unique are just going to sit here for 10 minutes until they lose, then... You know, then you can do whatever you want. It looks like they're just desperately hoping that Viking's going to come to the high ground. But what if they don't? They're just farming, you know?
Yeah.
They're just out farming.
Well, it feels like they're Unique are just waiting out this Aegis probably.
Yeah, it's...
And whatever that timer is
how
when
far
they're going to
away?
pounce.
1 minute? Yeah, I really hope they smoke after that. Yeah, I like it immediately after the Aegis, but then I think you have to go. I don't think you wait any longer at that point. And it is a low percentage play, but I think you got to take it. And maybe that's why he's holding on to the buyback, because he feels like, okay, when this Aegis expires, we're going to take a fight against the Rapier, and if we lose that fight and I don't have buyback, we lose the game. So,
I'm
actually,
surprised he
fair
has
enough, fair
BKB in his inventory right now.
enough. Over
With the
butter.
Aegis. I feel like the Aegis is what you swap in when you die with it.
Yeah, I
Or,
would
sorry,
think
the
you have
BKB is what you swap
butter
in
in
when
your
you die with
inventory
Aegis.
too. Luna does have the Rapier, so the evasion doesn't matter against that, but...
Radiant are
Interesting.
scanning.
There goes the Aegis.
There's the Aegis. Let's see if they smoke. They are literally... Vanscore has a smoke.
What the f just happened? See you later, nerds.
Waiting for the Bat Rider, perhaps, before they do something here, or push out this top wave one more time and then go for it. They could also, okay, there it is. I was gonna say they could also wait for the next Roche and just have one big fight there, because they do have a really good Roche fighting team, like exceptionally good. If they just, like you were talking about, how Undying has high value in that area.
Yeah?
along with Eclipse, and obviously the Bat Rider being able to traverse terrain and whatnot. Right, they smoke to get some wards down, so that might
a little bit of a
actually be
foothold.
their line of thinking.
When you're caved in like this, it's about opening up your safe space, right? They've expanded now, so they have a high ground, at least outside of base. It's still not enough, because they will still get out farmed, but it's something. Now they've made progress. And this is what, like, maybe you use the first smoke to get here, and you hope you get a good fight. If you don't, hopefully you have another smoke on the way, which they do. They have one last one, I think. And now you have somewhere to go from. But you need to push out this bottom wave, I think.
Well, Viking is going to smoke now. I mean, something we should mention is Luna does not have buyback. She's 800 away. But I feel like if you lose Divine, the game is most likely just over anyway. Buyback maybe not as important. Unless your team is able to hold the fort with a buyback and you're able to still come back, but that's probably unlikely. Here we go. Oh, the rune is there. They're going to pop the Lincolns on the Ember Spirit. Luna pops the Manta. Actually ends up on the wrong side of the trees. That is really unfortunate. She's just dead. That is Divine, and that's going to be GG. They call it. That was maybe the worst possible luck on that Manta style Cinderin. Holy crap.
But he popped Manta, and then he BKB'd, had like 2 seconds to hit, but he just didn't attack. He started